Linda Legas, born in 1951, Skala Laconias, with parents Yorgos and Panagiotta, one brother. Linda, do you have any memories of Skala Laconias before you migrated as a child?
I do.
What kind of memories do you have?
I remember the house that we lived in. I remember going to school. I remember catching the bus by myself from Skala and going to my mother's Chorio, I suppose, for summer, finding a yard. I remember staying on the beach with a thatched hut with my yaya doing mud baths at the back of the hut.
Mud baths?
Yeah, I remember my papu going hunting for birds. I remember swimming with my mother's youngest brother, who was 18 years younger than my mum, so we grew up as brother and sister. I remember him coming. I remember
is this your mum's side of the maternal side?
Yeah, and my father's side. I remember my papu. I remember being very spoiled. I remember going into shoe shops and buying shoes and then finding my papu so he could go and pay for the shoes and take my old ones home because I had to wear my new ones.
Now, what were the families involved? Were they farmers? Were they?
My papu was, yes.
Which one?
Both of them were farmers. I remember a lot more about my father's side, Skala. I remember they had cotton fields, they had rice fields. Obviously they had a lot of elias. My papu, my mother's side, they had a lot of sikyes. Yeah. But I remember my uncle and my papu going to the fields in the morning and coming. I remember taking food to the workers with my yaya because we housed them, and I remember that taking them food every day. My yaya would go.
Now, you told me that you only did 1 year at Greek school, and then you left. So there's not really much there. Only 1 year of primary school.
Yeah, just year one.
Year one, and that was it.
Whatever they call it, yeah.
But the thing is, before you leave to Australia, your dad leaves first in 1956.
Yes, and 2 years before that, in 1954, my father's brother, his wife and child left. So my father came to them.
So it was like a chain migration type thing.
Yes.
So the brother comes first, your dad comes then, and then he brings you out. But do you remember him leaving at all?
No.
Or do you remember his absence from your life? The fact that you're...
Not really, because I was really, really close to my uncle and to my papu.
Oh.
So I had a bigger closeness to my uncle and my papu than I had to my father. So when I left Greece, I couldn't imagine them taking them away from my family and bringing me here to virtually someone I didn't even want to be with because I didn't know him.
Right.
Yeah, and I came with my mother and my brother, who was nearly 2 years old when we came.
And do you know the ship that you came with?
It was called the Italia, I think.
Yep.
I remember my mum being sick and couldn't come up to eat, and I had to go and get her food and bring it down for her and my brother. My mum got sick at one stage. My brother kept playing with something on her neck, must have been a mole or something, and that got infected. She couldn't get out of bed, and I remember going to the doctor's surgery. I remember one day they had games on the ship for the kids, and I couldn't go because my mum was sick and I had to look after my mum. And I remember sleeping in a cabin with other women. And, yeah.
Wow. So you arrive in Sydney, and you meet your father after 2 years of not seeing him. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then of course your Theo too, your uncle and his family. Where did you establish yourselves? Where did you live first?
We lived in Young Street in one room, and the room had a veranda.
Young Street?
In Redfern, near Cleveland Street. Just off, but up that end, Cleveland Street end. I remember they took me to school, which was devastating.
Which school was it?
Cleveland Street.
Cleveland Street Public School?
Yes.
And there were no Greeks?
There was one girl who was supposedly Greek, but the only word she knew was water. She could say nero, and that was it. So I had to try I didn't go to the bathroom, I didn't do anything, I couldn't wait to get out of there. But having to go to school, because both my parents worked, I had to carry my brother and drop him off at a lady to look after him with his food, and then go to school. And in the afternoon I had to get up, come back, carry him back home, go inside and sit in his room and not talk to anyone or not be with anyone. And I hated it. I hated it so much that I defied them really bad. I learnt to speak English in less than 6 months fluently. Couldn't read or write.
But you could at least...
But I could speak, and I stopped talking Greek. And I forgot all my Greek, and then I relearned it in high school.
So tell me, those first... That's a lot of responsibility for a young child to drop off the younger brother, you know, go to school, pick up the younger brother, come home, wait for the parents to come home. A lot of responsibility there.
Yeah. Then my other responsibility was that every weekend we went to church, and at church was all the proxenia.
Okay, that's a bit later.
No, that was then. From the time I turned 8, I was the translator at the...
Oh, you're the translator?
Where they all went to get married, at the registry office.
So you became the translator for others?
The magistrates knew me. As soon as I walked in, they knew me, who I was. So I had to translate for them.
Oh, so you do the proxy for others?
For others.
The weddings for others? For
others.
Okay.
I was the, let's call it the witness. And besides that, I was flower girl every weekend, 2-3 times. It became a gig.
You became a gig. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was.
So tell me, what was it like at school? Going back to school, was it, you know, you learned the language, you know, you had a very strange name for the Australians.
I did, and nobody could say it because my name in Greek is Aglaia. And in 1958, no one was going to call me Aglaia, right? And one girl at one stage, she says, "I can't say your name, I'm going to call you Linda." And that was it.
So as a student?
Yes.
So you were registered at school as Aglaia.
But nobody called me Aglaia because I couldn't say it, and they started calling me Linda. And then I remember, I can't remember the year, but it was before I went to high school. My father became an Australian citizen, and because of my father, my brother and myself, my mother died not becoming an Australian citizen. She didn't believe in it, she didn't want it at all. And then my name was registered. I became known legally as Linda. I can't remember the year.
Yeah, that's okay, that's right. Tell me something, those, you know, growing up here in Sydney in, you know, the early 60s, late 50s, what were your social circles? Like, was it, you know, your dad's brother's family? Was it other Horiani from Laconia?
All adults. And I keep hearing stories about the girls that came here to get married, the guys that came here to get married, couples that were married and came. The hardest part that people don't get were us kids, because we had no one. Everywhere these people went, they found Greeks, and they could talk to each other and they could socialise. I remember my house being full of people every Saturday afternoon, every Sunday afternoon, 30, 40 people just sitting around on chairs talking. And my mother would cook. They'd all cook together, they'd eat together, then they'd go to work. They'd meet at Cleveland Street Park where the pool is, around that area, and they'd talk to each other and say, "I found macaronia here, I found fasolha there," and they'd all go shopping together until things became different, and people that came from 1960, 62 onwards found all this stuff, but there was nothing like that.
So do you think your generation, you know, being cut in the middle, because, you know, the adults would get together and talk, and what about you?
It was hard. You know, there were 2 other kids that we could get together with. They were all younger than me, and that was it.
Because most people migrated as single people.
They did.
And they got married here, and they established their families here.
That's right.
Whereas with you...
In the 50s, late 50s, there was no one. I had no one. I learned to sew dolls' clothes because there were all these adults at my mother's house, and all I could do was just pretend to sew things for a doll. I couldn't do anything else. It was hard for the kids. It was really hard for the kids.
And was there anything like an association that you were like?
Back then, no.
No.
Then later on, when I got older, when I was in high school, I can't remember the exact year, the Laconians started an association called Leonidas. And we would then go to the horus and...
So your family was very active?
My father was very active. My father was, he did real estate. He did work at the gas factory.
Oh, when he first came?
Then he worked for Otis Elevators. But he also worked delivering the Greek newspaper, the Herald.
The Greek Herald, Vasilis Vasilas.
And he actually had a Volkswagen, and it was a company car.
Company car?
Yes, back then.
For kiddie car?
For kiddie cars.
That's interesting.
Had a company car in the very, very early 60s. I've got a photo of it somewhere. I showed Dulwich because yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So my father was involved in that because remembering that when my father came to Australia, he actually went to high school in Greece, which was not that common. Like, he wasn't the only one, obviously, right? But he had, so factory work was not really for my father, but he had to take it because he couldn't speak.
So did he ever set up his own real estate agency?
No.
So he worked for others?
He worked for others.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he would read English, he could read the paper back to front, always, would never speak English, would never say one word in English.
But he seems to be a very busy man. Very active.
He was very active until 3 weeks before he passed away at nearly 105. Very, very active. He was part of associations. His memory was amazing. His history was beyond amazing in all his history. Yeah.
And what about Mum? What kind of a character was she? Did she work?
She did. Mum did sewing. Actually, when she first came, she worked at Rushcutters Bay, doing sleeping bags with a Jewish family. And she did that until she stopped working, and subsequently then she started working at home sewing. And then she passed away young.
Okay, and what happens to Linda? She goes to which high school? Which high school did you?
By then we had moved.
Yes.
And I went to Dulwich High School.
Oh, Dulwich High School.
Well, actually, Dulwich High School, I'm
Dulwich
sorry.
Hill. And where did you move? Was it Marrickville or Dulwich Hill?
We actually after Young Street, my parents bought a house in Enmore, near Enmore Park.
Yes.
And then they sold the house, and because they sold the house, we were staying with a friend of my mum's for a small period of time, which was in Dulwich Hill. So that was a period where they were selecting schools. Okay. So I went to Dulwich Hill. Then when we moved to Belmore, which was like 6 months after I started, I didn't want to change schools then. So I finished at Dulwich.
Oh, you finished at Dulwich Hill?
Yes.
Okay, and Belmore at that point, I mean, was Ayil Pandus?
I can remember the house that Ayil Pandus was
part
of,
yes.
And then the new church when it started. Yes, I was part of the youth group there. We used to go to plays there, dances every month. Father George from Newtown Church, was it Carteris? Was that his? No, can't remember his surname. He used to come and yeah.
So you seem to be very active in the Greek scene, like church youth. You always
not so much church youth. More in associations.
Associations.
My father talked me into joining the Laconian Association. I had when I was married, I was part of the Corinthians, and that period of time, the Corinthian mayor, I think he organised for children to go to Greece back then, free. And I think he had them for about 2 weeks. And we had 96 Corinthians go to Greece that year to a convention, and being in that, and because we were organising trips and doing things, it just got me interested in community stuff.
But tell me, what happened to Linda? As a 15-year-old, teenager, what did you want out of life? Like, did you want to study? Did you want to?
I did want to study, but I didn't. I had an issue with the language because I learned English, but I didn't learn to read and write. They didn't have ESL classes back then, so English wasn't a big topic with me. My topic was maths. So I did finish HSC, I did computer programming, and then like Greek girls, I married and had 2 kids.
Okay.
But I did have a good time before that, because I went out, I had friends. I wasn't sort of...
Were your friends always Greek?
The majority of my friends were Greek, yeah. Mainly hung out with Greeks.
Can I ask you also the question, was that strict on you, as in socially?
Strict on me how?
As in, like...
That's what I wanted.
Like, did it have to be a Greek boy? Did you have to be with Greeks? Did you have to be back home by 11?
With my parents, yeah, of course. My father wanted me to get married with a proxenio, and that was never going to happen, not my style, sort of thing. No, I didn't do that, because he was a bit worried, because in high school, probably 2 of my friends were Greek, the rest of them weren't.
Oh, okay.
So we used to go, some of them had cars, we used to go out on that, and we'd go...
So what was the scene for a Greek teenage girl in the 60s? What was the scene? What was your scene?
Well, we would go to the beach, we would go to Bondi, we would go to National Park, get in, 20 of us would get in 3 cars and go to the beach. You could do all that stuff back then. And I would do that. I wasn't the typical Greek girl that stayed home and listened to what I was told, and I couldn't go out unless I went out with my parents. That wasn't me. So I did go out with my friends, and then I was lucky that a family moved in across the road from us. I lived around the corner from the Paponases. I lived with Gikitis girls, so we would all go out together. So it was easy then. You weren't scared.
This is back in Belmore, yes.
Yes, back in Belmore. So we would go to the movies, we would go to the hotels, we would go to the beach, we would do all that together as a group of friends, not with our families. Although we did go out with our families as well.
But talking about the Kikitises and the Paponases and all that, they become your lifelong friends too.
Yes, I'm now still friends there.
So tell me something. At home, to your own kids. You know how you had the bit of a rebellion against the Greek language and all that, but then you returned to the Greek language at high school.
Yes.
Is your household with your 2 kids Greek? Are you talking to them?
Both my kids spoke Greek, especially because of my parents, obviously. And yes, they speak Greek. They are well into the Greek life. They like that. My son's kids actually went to St. Euphemia to school. They, as my grandkids are getting older, they're becoming more Greek. They want to follow the Greek.
How important were you talked about? They had Yaya and Papu.
Yes.
How important were they to your kids?
Very important to my 2 kids. Very important. Yes, they would pick them up from school. Yaya would have them over. She would cook with them. Yeah, they were completely and utterly devastated when Yaya died. They felt like half their life had disappeared. People used to say to me, your children seem to be closer to your mother than they are to you, which was fine. She was my mother. What was the big deal? That was it. Yeah.
Tell me your first time when you went back to Greece.
Oh, as we said, I left Greece when I was 7.
That's right.
As a child, and I went back to Greece when I was a grandmother.
After how many years?
43 years.
43 years. Tell me something, to return now to Skala Laconias, okay, after 43 years, how emotional was that?
Really emotional. As we took a bend, not knowing that the next town was going to be Skala, and there's a bend you take and you're going, I just got goosebumps for some reason and I had tears in my eyes, and I just couldn't work it out until I saw the sign. Skala, yeah. And there were a lot of things there that I remembered. Yeah,
it's one thing to see the little chairs so everything seemed to be big back then, but then was everything small?
Yes, it had changed. Skala at the back where the platia is now was all water. Let's call it a lake there. They did all their washing. That's where we drank water from. Used to swim in there, and now it's cement. It's not there anymore. It's completely different. It's a bigger town than what I envisioned. I remember a huge area with cafeño, and we're all sitting outside. That didn't exist. I remember the house. I remembered the church where my brother got christened. The house that we lived in where my brother was born.
So how long did you stay?
that time.
That time.
Not long, only because that was part of that trip we did
Yeah.
with the Corinthians the first time that I went. In Greece, I think I stayed about 6 weeks the first time.
And did you go often back?
Yes, after that, yes. After that it became, let's call it a habit.
habit.
I go back all the time.
Now, where you used to go back, what were your feelings going back to Skala Laconias? Did you feel as if this is where I was born? This is where I fell over for the first time? This was the first, all these firsts?
Yeah. All these firsts.
All
All these
the-
firsts. There was, inside me always, I felt like there was something missing. I felt like there was a void somewhere. Didn't know what this void was until I got to Skala. And this void then closed. I feel connected to Skala. I feel like that's me. That's where I am. And Athens.
Love Athens.
Love Athens. I've travelled, I've been very blessed and I've travelled a lot. But getting back to Athens and to Skala brings tears to my eyes. Even when I talk about it, I get emotional about it. Yeah.
And is it proud moments to have your kids at Skala Laconias or
Yes.
having grandkids?
We went 1 year in 2005. My daughter was married. She didn't have any children back then, but my son and his 2 girls, we went back. It was really, really emotional for me to be able to do that. Yes, most definitely.
Now, all right. So you're this passion now for Laconia, but you're very, very active in the Greek community.
I am.
You're very active in the Federation, the Laconia Federation. You're very active in the Lyceum. You're very active.
Yes, I am.
So tell me, what's the inspiration? What's the feeling? What draws you to be so active? Is it that contribution?
Yeah, it is that too, but I have this vision that one day the Greeks will be united. You're laughing at me, it's going to happen.
Okay,
It's going to happen. And that's what it is. When I joined the Laconians, I was in the Pan-Laconian Association. And there were 6, 7 associations back then. And I joined because I knew that their vision was to become a federation and for all the associations to join together. If they weren't going to, I'm not sure that I would have, but I did, made great friends, but I believe in it. I think I'm a proud Spartan. I think the Spartans have to be alive. Like
So with the Pan-Laconian, you know how there are all these associations. Which association?
I'm with Asopo, my mum's Scaria.
Are you?
Asopo, yeah.
So they've got their own association.
Yeah. We're not very active ours. It's very small, not very active. There's 3 guys and me. We're good. We hardly do anything because 90% of our members now are old. But the other 5 associations are definitely growing.
So you've done president at the
Federation.
At the Federation?
Yes, we do a rotation of presidents in with all the associations. So I was the first president. We used to change every year. So I was the first one that was there for 2 years. But we do 90%, more than 90% of the functions that we do as a federation are free. And they're all cultural.
That's right. You've done the costumes. You've done lectures. You've done the Bonagilla thing.
Bonagilla, yes. We've done 2 trips to Greece. We did 1 trip all around Greece for 16 days, and then we did another shorter trip. I think it was probably 10 days of the Ionian Islands.
I think you're going to Vietnam now, aren't you?
We are next year. We're going to Vietnam. If anyone's interested, message me. Yes.
So you're very busy as
keeps me occupied. Yeah, my children are married. My grandchildren are old. I'm a great grandmother. They don't need me to babysit anymore. So yeah, why not?
Tell me also, the Lyceum. You're involved with the Lyceum too.
Yes, I'm really passionate about the dancing, the traditional Greek dancing and costumes. Love the costumes, love the work that is in the costumes. I sew a little bit, so yeah, it's the costumes and the dancing are a passion of mine.
And okay, so even though you're balancing 2 associations, you're balancing great grandchildren and all that, is your life's complete. It's like it's full, it's busy.
And I travel a lot. Yeah,
And travel a lot. It's very busy.
Yeah, I'm enjoying life.
And tell me, what does Greece mean to you, Bud? Like you moved here, you know, at 7 years old, right? You grew up here. What does Greece mean to you?
It means home.
It does?
It does, yes. Yeah.
It means home. Even though you've done all your life here, practically.
Yeah, I still connect to that. Yeah, and grandparents. My biggest disappointment in Greece when I went back is didn't find my grandparents. It connected Greece and grandparents was just one thing. And went back and they weren't alive, and it took me 4 or 5 trips to accept that.
But they weren't there.
Yeah, they weren't there, yeah.
And what does Australia mean to you?
Family.
Okay, family. And quite a big family at that too.
Yes, we are. We're a big brood. Yes, very big brood. There's about 16 of us when we get together. I can't fit them all in here, but we manage.
Okay. Linda, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vasily.